The Hello Sunshine Stamp TV kit is packed with all types of images for all types of stamping techniques. Today, I'm going to show you a clean and simple card project by creating a floral arrangement using a few of the bold stamps from this new kit and some bright colored Memento ink pads. Let me show you the tools and products you're going to need to do this technique. First, you are going to need some ink pads. Now, I'm using Memento. You can use any kind of ink you want. The colors I'm going to use are the Ladybug and Tangelo, some Bahama Blue, and some Pear Tart. Then I'm going to also need some brads, and these are the brad collection that comes in the Stamp TV kit, the Hello Sunshine. This particular assortment, it's black and white. I'm going to use some of the white brads, and then I have a Tim Holtz craft pick, and I have a piece of mouse pad here that I'm going to use to put under my cardstock when I use my craft pick. Then you're also going to need some cardstock, and I have a piece of the 80-pound white cardstock. I have a piece of the layering weight colored cardstock. This is the Carnival Blue. This also comes in the Stamp TV kit. And then I have a card base made of the 120-pound white cardstock. I also am going to use some Scotch tape, some mono adhesive, and then the stamps that I've chosen for this technique, this particular project, are the larger flower that looks kind of like a mum, and then the little starburst kind of flower. And then I have both of the little leaf sprigs, and they go in different directions. And you'll be able to see that a lot better. Since I'm using clear today, you're going to be able to see that a lot better once I ink them up. So I'm going to start with the boldest stamp here, this flower. And I'm going to color this one in the Bahama Blue. And you'll be surprised how nicely the Bahama Blue matches our Carnival Blue cardstock. It's a really nice match. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this one just about up in this section here to create my first flower. There we go. There's my first stamp. Now I'm going to do a little bit of vine work, and I'm going to do that by taking some of this tape, and I'm going to tape it over the stem, because I want to ink this up, but I really don't want to use the stem. I just want to use the leaves. So if you ever want to do a technique like this for any stamp where just a little piece of it is sticking out that you don't want to use, you don't have to go to a marker technique. You can still use your ink pads. Just kind of block it off with a piece of tape. And then I'm going to ink that up with the Pear Tart ink pad. I have to see which direction this one is going to go in when I turn it around. I'm going to pull that tape off so none of that got onto my stem. And then this one I'm going to stamp coming down this way. So I'll stamp that one right about here. And I'm going to do another sprig like that. And you can see none of that stem came off because it was covered nicely with that tape. So I'm going to put another piece of tape there. Isn't that fun? It's such an easy way to mask. Pull that off again. And then this one, I'm going to do this right about, I'll do that one here, like that. Then I'm going to use the other stem because I'm going to have some sprigs coming down the other way. But again, I'm going to mask off that little stem. This stem's a little bit smaller on this one. It goes in a different direction, and it's a little bit different shaped. And ink that up. And get rid of the tape. And I'm going to stamp this one just about here, like that. And one more. I'm going to add a little bit of sprig up there. I think one more to see how it looks when I'm all done. I always make a card sample first, a little try me sample, but then when I do them on Stamp TV, they always come out just a little bit different. So we'll add this one up here, like that. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to add this smaller flower. This one looks a little bit like a sunburst to me. And I'll start with Tangelo. I'm going to do 2 Tangelo flowers. Ink that one up real well. And let's put one right up here. And these don't necessarily have to look like they're attached to the vines. It's just to create more color and vibrance. And I'm going to put one down here. And you can also stamp on top of leaves, and you can stamp off the cardstock. That makes it look a little bit more finished when flowers are coming in from off the page. And I'm just going to stamp that off because I don't have a stamp cleaner with me, so I just want to get rid of the excess before I go to my shade that's a bit darker. Next shade is Ladybug. I'm going to ink that one up. And I think I'll stamp one here and then one up here. So we'll do this one first and one up in this corner. There we go. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to add a greeting, so I'm going to need a block here. Let me get rid of this stamp. The greeting that I'm going to use for this card is the So Grateful greeting. I'm going to make a little thank you card here. And I feel like stamping in color. I don't want my greeting to be in black, so I'm going to do that with the Bahama Blue, since that's kind of my base color. I want to have a little bit more of that in my project. And I'm going to just stamp that right off to the side there. And because these particular stamps that I'm using are clear, it's really easy to line up. If you prefer the rubber, you can use the Stamp-A-Majig to make sure you get perfect placement. Either way works really nicely. So there we go. Stamp my So Grateful there. And now I'm going to tape the whole thing onto this piece of Carnival Blue cardstock. And you can see the Memento ink dries so quickly. It's so nice. And you can see how nice and vibrant it looks even when using the clear stamps. Not very difficult at all with our clear stamps. And of course, you get gorgeous impressions with our red, deeply etched rubber. So whichever you choose, you're going to have an awesome set of stamps to work with. Okay. So there, now I have that on there. Now I'm going to add a couple little brads. I'm going to add 3 brads onto this. I really don't have room on this one to add a brad. If I had moved that over a little bit, I could have added a 4th brad, but things really do look nice in 3s on your card, or 5s, those odd numbers. So if you're adding embellishments or you're adding flowers, like you can see I have 5 flower images here, try to think in odd numbers, 3, 5, 7's a little much, but if you've got a big garden, 7 looks really nice. So I'm just going to punch some holes here using my craft pick in the centers of these flowers. And then I could use the black ones if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to use the white ones since it's such a summery card. And of course you can do some of the techniques that we've done in the past with brads. You can color them with Copic markers if you want more color on your brads, or you can dip them in embossing powder and make them sparkly or brightly colored or shiny. However you want to do it is just fine. And for those of you who don't like adding brads, you think they might add a little bit too much bulk, you can do a stick-on type of embellishment like one of our adhesive rhinestones or adhesive nail heads. Or, of course, you can use liquid pearls, which always is fun. And once it's completely dry, you've got no bulk on the back of your card, and you can make it just the right size. So there's a lot of different types of embellishments you can do. Okay, so now I have my card panel ready to be mounted onto my card base. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a little bit of extra tape. Oops, something jumped on my card there. I'm going to add a little bit of extra tape around those brads at the top because I really want that to all stick down nice and tight. And I have to lift it up to see it here. Just line that up, top and bottom, side to side. And we have, oops, it's not lined up quite so well. Of course, stamping is always so much easier, especially lining things up when you're standing up. So if you can stand up when you're doing this, it'll be perfect every time. It's kind of difficult to do it from this position, actually, while you're holding both pieces, but I have to do it for the camera this way, so you'll have to bear with me for just a sec. All right, and make sure you press down around those brads, and there we have a vibrant but clean and simple colorful summer card. This card project can easily be converted into an autumn card by using warm oranges and yellows along with deep olive greens, or make it a spring card using soft pastels.